The wind howled across the red plains of New Arizona, a frontier planet carved from dust and silence. Miles from the nearest settlement, Jacob Rains lived alone on a sun-bleached ranch where metal fences creaked like old bones and the solar panels gathered light for one man's quiet existence. Once, he'd been a colonist soldier during the Andromeda expansion. Now, he was retired, scarred, and content to fade into the background of a galaxy that had outgrown men like him. His only company were the ranch's synth horses and the ghost of his wife, Mara, gone these 10 years. Every evening, he'd talk to her photo on the mantle as if the stars would carry his words where she'd gone. "Did you see that sunset, Mara? Even out here, it's still beautiful." But the galaxy had other plans. It began on a night when the sky tore open. Jacob woke to a sound like thunder, though it hadn't rained on New Arizona in decades. He stepped out onto the porch, rifle in hand, and saw streaks of silver fire cutting across the heavens, escape pods breaking atmosphere and scattering like falling stars. One crashed beyond his northern ridge. He watched the smoke rise and sighed. "Guess I'm not sleeping tonight." When he reached the wreck, he found something that didn't belong in any human war. The pod's insignia was alien, Altherian, if his memory served, a species once known for grace and diplomacy, now nearly extinct after the Outer Rim purge. Inside were 11 survivors. 11 women. Their eyes were luminous, like molten gold, and their skin shimmered faintly under moonlight, patterned like starlight across water. They looked terrified. One, tall and regal, stepped forward. "Please, we mean no harm. We are widows of Althera. Our convoy was attacked. We seek shelter, only until the stars are safe again." Jacob hesitated. The last time he'd helped outsiders, it had cost him everything. Yet, something in her voice, that tremor of exhaustion and pride, cut through the walls he'd built. He nodded once. "You can stay, but you pull your weight. No freeloaders on this ranch." They bowed in gratitude, and for the first time in years, the old ranch filled with life. Days turned to weeks. The alien widows proved themselves capable, tending to the crops and repairing the broken water line with technology Jacob barely understood. The youngest, Lysra, took a liking to the synth horses, while the eldest, Captain Senrai, quietly monitored the skies for signs of pursuit. Jacob found himself talking again, real conversations, not just the mutterings of a lonely man. Around the dinner table, their laughter echoed like a song he'd forgotten. One evening, Lysra asked, "Why do you live so far from your kind, Jacob Rains?" He shrugged. "My kind stopped wanting me around. Easier to talk to the stars." Another widow, gentle-eyed Naira, replied softly, "Then perhaps it's time you let the stars answer back." That night, Jacob lay awake, staring at the ceiling. He realized how quiet the house had been before they came, and how unbearable that silence now seemed. But peace was fragile on the frontier. One morning, while repairing a fence, Jacob noticed the horizon shimmering. Not heat, engines. A patrol craft, human-made, bearing the insignia of the Interstellar Authority. They weren't supposed to patrol this far out unless they were hunting something. He ran to the comm tower and warned Senrai. Her face tightened. "They're looking for us," she said. "The humans call us fugitives, but we only fled enslavement. If they find us, they will not show mercy." Jacob's jaw tightened. He knew how those patrols worked. Cold men with cold orders. "Then we'll make sure they don't." He led them to dig trenches and reroute the power lines to overload the perimeter defenses. The widows used alien tech to cloak the ranch's heat signature. For 2 days, they hid beneath the dust storms, hearts pounding with every echo from the sky. But the patrol found them anyway. The ship descended like a hawk. Soldiers poured out, scanning the ranch. Property of Jacob Rains. One barked. You are harboring fugitives of the Altherian species. Surrender them immediately. Jacob stepped forward, rifle slung low. Ain't harboring anyone. Just guests under my roof. You want them, you'll have to come through me. The officer sneered. You'd defy the authority for aliens. Guess I would. The firefight was short and brutal. Plasma bolts scorched the sand. Jacob fought like a man who'd already lost everything once. The widows joined him, their energy lances slicing through the smoke. When the last soldier fell, silence returned, heavy, electric, eternal. But Jacob was hit. A plasma round burned through his shoulder. He collapsed, vision dimming. Lyra ran to him, tears streaking down her luminous face. Stay with us, human. Please. His lips curled into a faint smile. Didn't think. I'd die, protecting aliens. You won't, Senrai vowed. We will not let another soul we care for vanish. They carried him inside. Using Altherian biotech, they healed the wound with liquid light. For 3 days, Jacob drifted between dreams and voices, Mara's and theirs, until he awoke to dawn streaming through the window. Senrai sat beside him. We've decided, she said. We can no longer run. The galaxy must know we exist, that we survive. Jacob nodded weakly. Then I'll help you build a signal. Months passed. Together, they transformed the ranch into a beacon, part sanctuary, part transmitter. The 11 widows sent their message into the void. To the survivors of Althera, we'll live. The human named Jacob Rains gave us refuge. Come home. And they did. One by one, other survivors answered the call. The ranch became something new, a settlement where human and Altherian rebuilt side by side. Jacob, once alone, now woke each morning to voices, laughter, and light. One evening, as the twin moons rose, Lyra stood beside him on the porch. You saved us, she whispered. Jacob shook his head. You saved me first. The widows smiled, their eyes reflecting the stars, 11 points of light against the dark sky. And for the first time since Mara's passing, Jacob felt that the universe had not abandoned him. It had simply been waiting for him to open his door.